next week, guys. Next week for Spy X Family is the arc that I have personally been waiting for since Season 2 was announced. Yor will have her time to shine, and it will be great. That being said, though, that is next week. And this week of Spy X Family, we're not quite there yet. Now, I've seen the past couple weeks that it's been pretty slow for Spy X Family. And this seems to happen because Spy X Family, people seem to forget, is more of a slice of life show. It really is. It is a slice of life show with shonen elements, but at its core, the Forger family and their everyday life is our main focus. Now, for some of you, I understand that can be boring, because you're sitting there like, I only want to watch people punch each other and for flashing colors on my screen every second. And to those smooth-brained individuals, I say, that's perfectly fine. I understand that. But for me, I very much enjoy Spy X Family, and I know a lot of you all do too. And today, well, we're going to have to deal with getting smarter and finding a cat. What could be more interesting than that? So let's just hop straight into it and talk about Spy X Family Season 2, Episode 4 today. And immediately as our episode begins today, we hear the Pastry of Knowledge. Tales have been told of this pastry as one of the 7 wonders of Eden College. A mysterious pastier appears out of nowhere at Eden and serves this pastry on a whim. Not only is it exquisitely delicious, but many students who taste these pastries end up as imperial scholars. So people started to say that eating them will instantly make you smarter. This caused students to do everything they could for a chance to order these pastries. And it's here as we transition to our next scene, we see Becky's got a surprise for Anya as we hear. Did you hear? Next term, they're going to start by splitting up depending on her grades. As Anya's like, what does that mean? And Becky tells her, well, there's me, who's okay at school. And then there's you, who's terrible at school. Depending on how our lessons go, we could be separated. As Anya's like, Anya doesn't want to be alone. As Becky, like a good friend, says, oh, you definitely will be. That's why you have to work harder on your studies, because you're dumb. And it's here, out of nowhere, like a saving grace on the wind, we hear. It happened. It appeared. It appeared in the second cafeteria. That dessert. The dessert made by the legendary pastier who used to be a royal chef. It's known as the Pastry of Knowledge. The legendary dessert that's said to make anyone who eats it an imperial scholar. As we hear, apparently, they're macarons this year. There's only a limited amount, so we gotta get to them before someone else does. And it's here with a quick exchange of glances. It's time to Naruto run our way to the cafeteria. We gotta get those macarons. But it's here we see that Anya and Becky aren't the only ones with this idea, as Damien and his cronies are going for them too. As we suddenly hear there's only one order of Premier Pomar's sweets left. Better hurry. And it's here as our gaggle of idiots race to get the last set of pastries. Who should stand in their way but fricking George? As he gets the very last order of the day. As he's like, wow, I got super lucky. I wonder if I can get a Stella now. Now, like good friends, you'd think they'd say, congratulations, George. I'm glad you got this. Good on you, man. But they're not good friends. As Damien's like, that's mine, damn it. Give it, George. Hand them over. I was gonna eat those. As George's like, yo, I'm getting mugged here. And says, I bought these with what little money I have. You can't have them, you savages. As Damien's like, you know, you never gave me back my pen case, George. As Becky adds, and you embarrassed me by making me sing a song when I didn't need to, George. We didn't forget that. As he's like, fine, there are 5 of these, so you can have the other 4. But it's here we run into a little bit of a problem, guys, because you see, simple math would indicate that this don't add up. One person's gotta go. As we hear an epic battle to decide who would become Imperial Scholars begins as we fight for the macarons. And as we transition to the next scene, our game's quite simple, everyone. As Damien says, we're gonna play a round of Old Maid. Which I kinda doubt a lot of you even know how to play, to be honest. The one who comes in last doesn't get a macaron. As Anya's like, I've never played cards before. I don't know the rules. As Becky says, it's simple. You just need to match the same numbers and avoid the Joker. And it's here. Our very high-stakes game begins as Damien thinks, hey, give me the Joker. We'll make her take it and show her who's boss. The pastry of knowledge would be wasted on someone who doesn't even know what Old Maid is. As Damien says, I'll make the Joker easier to grab and move the 6 further away so she won't grab it. But they don't realize who they're playing against. As Anya with ease grabs the 6 and shocks Damien. As she gives him a look like, you chump. And it's here as our game proceeds. Anya ends up winning through pure skill. Cheating, let's be real. As Damien's like, nah, wait, you're way too good. As we hear, you must have marked the cards or something, ain't no way. As Damien's like, if she didn't cheat, the only answer is that she can read minds. As Anya starts sweating bullets here and that, saying, if you insist, we can play again, I guess. As she's like, whew, that was a close one. I need to mess up on purpose so they don't find out about my telepath powers. And it's here as our second round begins. The pressure's on. As Anya hears where the Joker is and says, I need to mess up on purpose, as she grabs it. And says, oh no, Anya has clumsily grabbed Mr. Joker. Oh no. As they start laughing at her, and Anya's like, oh, you want my killer punch, huh? As Becky says, no, don't, not again. As Anya says, whew, that was close. I need to be a cool liar like Papa. Anya will be safe if the second son grabs Mr. Joker. But it's here as he starts grabbing for a card. She is so telegraphed that is not even remotely a possibility. And as our game progresses, Anya realizes, wait, I can't get rid of the Joker. What's going on? And it's here at the end of our game. It's just Anya and Damien left. Who could have seen it coming? As George is just like, you kind of suck at this game too, huh, Damien? As Damien says, this card will decide everything. If I just watch her face, I've got this in the bag. As Anya thinks, if I lose, I won't be able to eat that dessert and I'll stay dumb. Then I'll do bad on my tests and I'll be in different classes than Becky. I'm gonna be all alone. And it's here as Damien reaches for the card. Anya uses the true secret weapon of every woman I've ever known. Tears. And she does a critical hit on our boy Damien. And as we transition to after the fact, we see that he threw the game. As his friend says, Damien, how the hell could you possibly pick the Joker there? As he's like, shut the hell up, guys. It's nothing. As he's like, she's so unfair, damn it. But it's here, Anya comes up to him and says, hey, you want to split this with me? And this little tsundere cannot take it. As he says, no, I don't, Baka. I can become an Imperial Scholar even if I don't eat that. You eat it because you're stupid, stupid. What a bashful little prick Damien is, man. But it's here, as Anya eats the macaron, we see something incredible happen. As all of a sudden, power starts surging, and she becomes Super Anya. And it's here she goes throughout her day. She channels the power inside of her. And on the day of the test, she unleashes it all on this sheet of paper. Truly a spectacular feat. Only for us to see that they all failed. They're all dumb. And the looks they have here say it all. And it's here as we transition back to the house, we hear Yor say, yo, school tests are difficult, huh? As Anya says, Anya's gonna go sulk in bed for a bit. But it's here as Lloyd starts looking through her tests. They're not good. Let's not get that twisted. But he looks at the one on ancient language and says she was docked points for consistent spelling errors. But without that, she would have gotten a pretty high score. As he thinks she hasn't studied ancient language that much yet. Did she learn it wherever she grew up? But there really aren't any countries that still use this ancient language. Wonder if that'll come up later. As Lloyd thinks, nah, there's no point in wondering about it anymore. As we see, it's time for dinner. As Yor says, I made dessert, guys! And Bond's like, please, not again! Lloyd, save me again! And with that, all's well that ends well. But as we transition to our next scene, it's time for a different case as we hear, here's a fake ID to get into Duct Industries' second section. Here are the test numbers for the engine test on their new fighter jet. As Lloyd says, what about the visual data on the members of that one group? As Frankie says, yeah, you're gonna have to wait a bit more of that. One of my contacts who knew a lot about them was off. As Lloyd says, the State Security Service did it? As Frankie says, nah, I'm not positive, but there are rumors that Garden is involved. As Lloyd says, Garden? The group of assassins who have been in this country for ages. They're basically urban legends, aren't they? As Frankie says, no, they definitely exist. They eliminate one traitor after another on the shadow government's orders. As Lloyd's like, I'm sure there's at least one authorized militia here. As Frankie says, nah, they're way more serious than that. Just one of their soldiers could take down a whole squad. And Lloyd's just like, oh, okay, Frankie, sure, I'm counting on you. But it's here before he leaves, Frankie says, wait, help me out with one of my jobs in exchange for this extra labor. As he pulls out a poster for a lost cat and says, this is Kopi. He belongs to a girl named Casey who works at the cafe where I'm a regular. He went missing last week and Casey was super sad. As he says, Twilight, so that I can get closer to this woman. Help me get this cat back. As Lloyd just brushes him aside. As he's like, come on, man, help me. I'll throw in this brand new pistol shaped like a toothbrush. But even a tempting offer like that doesn't bring Lloyd back. As Frankie says, fine, I'll get the cat back on my own. Don't go underestimating an informant. And as Frankie starts calling up contacts, he needs to find someone to help find this kitty cat, guys. It's a very dangerous job. As Frankie suddenly gets a call saying, I saw a cat matching that description on Ritter Street near City Hall. As he's like, excellent work, Joe. And it's here as our boy Frankie travels down to that area. Who should he run into by City Hall but Yor herself? As Frankie says, oh, that's right, you do work at City Hall, huh? As she tells him, yeah, I'm about to take my lunch break. You work around here as well, Frankie? And as he starts filling her in on the situation, Yor says, there's a missing cat! My goodness! I would love to help you. As Frankie's like, but you're about to have lunch though, aren't you? As Yor's like, please, my spouse, husband's friend's in need after all. I can't abandon you. As Frankie thinks, she's still keeping this husband and wife act up all the time, huh? As he says, alright, if it won't cause you any trouble, thanks for the help. And then now it's time to start Operation Find Frankie a Date. Save a kitty cat. As he says, I've placed several of my cat-shaped wiretaps, C20s, at various cat points. The sensor's supposed to react to the sound of the bell around Kopi's neck, as one of these cats are like, who the hell are you? But very quickly we hear, wait, the C20 at point A is being attacked! As he says, I guess my robots were eliminated for being outsiders. As Yor says, I guess the world of kitties is pretty cruel too. It's a cat-eat-cat world, guys. As Frankie says, then we'll just have to have him come to us. As he says, it's time for the cat NIP decoy system. As he says, we're gonna get the target to come to us by spreading the smell of catnip. But it's here, we see our plan works a little bit too well as they get swarmed by cats. These cats are high as hell on catnip right now. As they literally start jumping on them like, give us attention, human. Give it to us now. But it's here all of a sudden. The target has been spotted as Frankie says, I'm gonna catch you no matter what, damn it. As Frankie pulls out his camera-shaped net launcher. As he says, Kopi's definitely on guard. I'll have to carefully approach him as if I'm just taking a picture. But as we see how short the range actually is on this thing, that's easier said than done. As Kopi looks at him like, meow, bitch. And as Kopi runs off, it's time for a game of cat and mouse. As he looks at him like, meow, bitch. As Frankie's like, okay, Kopi, you want to play like that? Now I'm mad. And it's here, it's time for a super transformation sequence. As Frankie says, this is the ultimate weapon I spent 10 years developing. The exoskeleton power suit. Just you wait, Kopi, after I turn it on. It takes 15 minutes for the motor to get warmed up. You just wait there. As Kopi looks at him like, I'm out of here, and runs off. But it's here, Yor says, Frankie, let me borrow this for a sec. As she tears the back off the exosuit. And chucks that shit like she's a quarterback right here. As she stops Kopi in her tracks. And she lunges at him. The look of terror on this cat's face is wild. As we see, she caught him. As Frankie's just like, 10 years. I spent 10 years of my life on this, man. But it's here. Mission successful. And it's here as we transition to Frankie giving Stacy back the cat. She is so happy. And so is her boyfriend. Our boy Frankie is crushed. And as he leaves, they say, seriously, Frankie, thank you so much. As Frankie says, well, live happily ever after, you two. And it's here as this man goes down the alleyway. He cries manly tears of manliness. And it's here as we actually transition to Yor's work here. We see she's in a great mood after helping Frankie. As their co-worker says, well, you seem happy, Yor. As another says, what happened? Your hubby buy you something? As her friends say, God, your happy marriage pisses me off. As our one co-worker says, guys, she just finally learned how to be normal. That's all. As Yor's overjoyed, like, wait, am I normal now? Most normal people probably wouldn't ask that question. As she thinks, I can finally pull this act off. But it's here we suddenly hear Briar, or rather Forger, you've got a phone call. And as these two are walking, he tells her, it's from your usual client. And as she picks up the phone, we hear, this is Yor. As we hear on the other line, you've got a customer, Thorn Princess. And on that ominous note, our episode ends. And like I said at the beginning of the episode, guys, I am really looking forward to next week. We're finally going to get our Yor arc. And a lot of complaints that people had with Season 1 are going to be fixed in our next arc. They're probably going to spend a couple episodes on it, actually. I really truthfully can't see them spending less than at least 3 episodes on this next arc. And I'm serious. So we're going to get a nice taste of Yor and what being an assassin is really like. So, hope you're looking forward to that like I am. But let me know your thoughts on this episode, because it was another fun one for Spy X Family. So until next time, guys, I hope you all have a great day, week, month, and year. And until then, deuces, have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.